Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to take a look at this special edition Kavalan, a bottle brought to me by my good friend Dustin. You know him, the whiskey YouTube universe is D2 Silv. Dustin, Kavalan, single cask strength whiskey. Tell me about it.
All right, so this is exclusively finished in, and I'm going to probably butcher it here, but Manzanilla casks, which is a type of sherry.
We have been trying to figure out exactly how to say this correctly.
Manzanilla, I think it's Manzanilla, but
Manzanilla cask.
I believe so. So I did just recently discover the way you can actually figure out how old these are. So this is a Kavalan there, a distillery in Taiwan, which the majority of Taiwan is subtropic. The very southern tip is tropic climate. So it's hot. Whiskey ages super fast there. They're an island bigger than most of the states in New England, but smaller than pretty much in the other states. So it's not a small place. And this is fairly east coast, but not quite coastal.
I know people go crazy for these Kavalan whiskeys.
Yeah.
They really do. I've had like just a basic one that I got sent as a sample from Master Malt. They gave me a gift when I was ordering when they still shipped to the United States. But you've had a couple of really nice ones you shared to me, and they've been next level, man.
Oh, yeah.
And this is one of them. Now, this one comes in at 57.1% ABV.
Yep.
This is bottle 158 of 503, and it's cask number M as in Mary, A as in Apple, 100721003A as in Apple.
So what that actually just told you there,
Give it to me.
MA, Manzanilla cask,
Mm-hmm.
10/07/21.
The data was...
2010, July 21st is when they barreled it.
Oh, wow. That's been around for a while.
So then they bottled it on April 30th of 2016.
So how old is that?
So we are just under 6 years, I think.
Just under 6 years
We're
old.
basically at 6 years on this.
And I tell you what, buddy, you brought it in this box, and it's a little tricky coming out. This is a beautiful box that I want to show you guys. It opens up nice here, nice wood. It has this nice golden packaging, very similar to the old Highland Park 25s, as far as kind of like a padding in the back, and then you have that nice lacy.
I mean, it
fabric.
feels like a silk. I mean, it does.
Feels
and
like
then
a
you
silk.
have this metallic writing, which is a little hard to read.
You're probably not gonna pick that up.
And
on
then
camera.
if you look at the back of it, feel the back.
Oh, it's like velvet.
Yeah, it's got a velvet feeling back. And I think the stickers are like some government regulation requirement.
Yeah. What is that, velvet?
It feels like it.
It feels like velvet.
It's that, or it's maybe whatever they're putting in Alcantara, whatever they're putting in cars these days. That synthetic stuff that's a little cheaper.
Well, I tell you what, you almost dropped the bottle out of it earlier, so
Yeah.
I wanted to get it away because it's not the greatest fitting bottle I've ever had. It's like Kleinlich Select Reserve.
Well,
Number 2.
the sad thing is I have another bottle from this series, and the bottle fits perfectly. This one, I think the mold just didn't quite work out perfect.
Yeah, no.
What are you gonna do?
It wasn't their best effort, but hey, as long as the whiskey is their best effort, that's what I'm talking about. So,
absolutely.
pretty pricey bottle for
Yeah.
a 6-year-old, or for any bottle,
Yeah.
especially for a 6-year-old.
We're looking at close to $500 retail on these. I've seen some of this series going for $570 recently. I paid $420, which, all things considered, in the U.S. is a good price. Now I know UK, if you buy it in Taiwan or China or something, you can get better prices. But
I feel like that's your sweet spot. You're the $300 to $500 whiskey guy. You got a bunch in that price range. A few over.
those are the ones I bring to you.
You're holding out on me. I get it, man. All right, so let me show you that color. I believe these are all natural color, yes?
Natural color.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and again, remember 6 years here, they're losing most of the barrel in 6 years.
Because of the heat.
Yes.
Because of the heat.
So this is aging much faster.
All right, buddy. I'm going to get a little bit of this nose. I got to tell you, every time I smell one of these Calavans, the ones that you have, man, it's just beautiful, rich sherry.
Yeah. And their malt has a sort of, if you've had any of the Texas whiskeys, or the India whiskeys, there's a bit of a kind of a burnt caramel, burnt barley kind of a thing going on. There's like a darker effect I seem to get from these whiskeys that are aged in these hotter climates. And at first it was a little confusing for me to get used to and kind of acclimate. Now when I get it on a malt, I love it.
I tell you what, man, it is so
love
rich
it.
for
Yeah.
any whiskey, let alone a 6-year-old. Wow. I mean, some of that's the ABV because it's cask strength, but the cask.
I mean,
is
you're probably
excellent.
talking about a 30-year equivalent if this was Scotch. Maybe even 35. I mean, that's 6 years is wholly different. I've heard of some 9-year-olds coming out of there. If I can find a bottle,
Wow.
it's probably coming home with me.
This is,
Maybe 2.
as far as the richness and complexity on the nose, I've never tasted a whiskey, let alone 12 years old, 15 years old that is this rich on the nose. It is so rich.
You cannot, in the normal climate, get this much of the sherry into the whiskey. I don't care if it's first fill. 10 years is not doing this much because you don't just get the sherry, you're getting the oak.
Man.
You're getting so much wood, and it's beautiful wood. This tastes like it. This is not white American oak. If it is,
I'd be
shocked.
stunned. This is European oak. It smells like, at least to me.
Or it's some kind of exotic oak they're using.
Yes, not your normal bland ex-bourbon barrel type.
No, this is probably right. It's probably European oak from Spain or something that they've imported
some
over.
Spanish sherry bodega that they got and was like, hey man, what do you want for that cask? I know you probably had it earmarked for Macallan or somebody that's bigger, but give us 3 of these.
Yeah.
Some of the great negotiator.
Yeah.
Because they're negotiators.
Oh, they are. You would definitely. Definitely believe you.
Just because I've always been in a business where I dealt with people from overseas and everything as far as trade, and they have a very different style of negotiation. Like they start low, but you always find common ground.
Yeah.
But this one here, this I don't know what cask went into
single
this.
cask, yeah.
Single cask.
Yeah.
I don't know what went into this, man, but it was a beaut. My God, what they could have done with 10 years on this nose.
I don't know if there'd be any whiskey left. That's the only problem.
Because it smells fantastic.
Yeah, I mean it's rich. It's dark chocolate.
It's dark.
It's caramelized. It's like caramelized burnt caramel. Like I mean it's been.
There's some cherry.
But it's not gotten like smoke on it. It's like it's caramelized and it's just.
The smoke is gone. There's no smoke.
Oh, there's no smoke in here at all. No.
None at all. No wood smoke. Nothing like that. But I'm getting like a Morello cherry, but without like the tart cherry notes of it. If that makes sense.
Or like the alcohol that sometimes comes with it. It's a different alcohol note.
Yeah, it's just very.
I'm not even smelling alcohol.
Right. I was gonna say the alcohol is soft or subdued. Was the words that I was thinking in my head.
It's just 57, and I mean I'm putting my nose right in here, and I'm just pulling it, and I mean I'm getting no.
It's almost non-existent. Yeah, it's almost non-existent. Like so, if you had this, I would almost. I would say like a cognac, but it's almost like a wine where you would think the ABV is way low.
Yeah.
And it's the exact opposite. It's way high.
Yeah.
So I'm getting cherries. I'm getting like a very fudgy sherry, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah. It's just chocolate now.
Yeah.
Here's why I told you I wanted to do this before we did Pete.
Yes, give it to me. I understand it now, but give it to me.
So I actually didn't know this, and actually, let's do a taste first, and then I'll get to this note. We'll go back to the nose after you taste it.
But I'm still on the nose. Go ahead and get you a tasting so you can give the folks what you.
Well, like I said, I want to get your thoughts here because I want to hear your tasting notes here a little bit. Then I'll bring in because so I actually wrote a review for this on a website,
Go for it.
and somebody kind of went up there and made some comments, and he hit on like what these sherry casks, the flavor profile they usually give, and it actually made me go, oh, I got it because I missed all of those notes. I'm sorry, I'm not saying I missed them. I got them, and I just assumed my palate was off that day because there's some unique notes that this sherry cask gives that are a little different.
I get some light cherries. I almost think salt, but it's not salt. It's more like it's a light spiciness that's not. It's bordering on salt, but not quite salt. It's almost like a very light cinnamon. It's also like a very light. Paprika? Am I even close on something like that? Or maybe a clove? Something.
It's definitely a spice note going on there that I can't.
I didn't get a ton of spice on. Oops, sorry. I didn't get a ton of spice on the nose at all, but it was definitely spicy on the palate. Give me a second here. There's some chocolate.
Oh yeah.
There is.
Let me hit you
like
with
a light orange.
I'm on amaretto.
Di Serrano. Okay, so remember when I said
not this Di Serrano? Let's get some drier one.
It's a little not quite as sticky.
But it's an amaretto, yeah, definitely. That one's a little too candy, but there's a Dr. Pepper almost.
Yeah. Okay, now that you say that, 23 flavors.
But with a lot of chocolate and fudge.
Yeah. Again, when I said the fudge is definitely there. It's definitely a fudgy, sticky, very viscous. Yeah. Rich, dense sherry flavor on your palate.
Like the fruits I get on here aren't the normal, like I think of plums and raisins.
Dates, they're not there. It's just all tannins.
It's fruity, but I don't know what I can't go back and say, oh, it's raisin. It's much more chocolate, maybe raspberry, but like.
You know what to me?
Overpowered with fudge.
Yeah, you know what to me what it is? It's sherried, but it's tropical fruit sherried.
Oh, you know what? Ooh.
That's kind of what I'm getting. It's like mango, but just sherried mango without the typical sherry flavors like the dates, the raisins, the figs. Like the dates, raisins, and figs aren't there. They're almost there, but they're not there. But it almost feels like there is a combination of mangoes and your traditional sherry cask fruits.
So what I was going to say earlier, and so I wrote this review on Distiller, and I'm drinking this, and I'm thinking to myself, it's Kavalan. They are on an island, but it's a big island, and they're not close enough where they should be getting salt notes.
Well, really, everything's an island.
Yes,
for the most part.
But I mean, it's small enough for islands of more fair assessment.
Sure.
On top of that, it's sherry cask. Sherry casks don't have salt.
No.
And I'm drinking this, and I'm going, I'm picking up salt, and I just made the assumption I'm a crazy person. No. Apparently, that's a common trait of this particular sherry cask, is it gives it a saltiness.
Well, I don't think salt is in a whiskey. It's just the remembrance of
But
salt.
it creates a flavor profile of it.
Correct.
It creates a salty flavor. And
Correct.
I had never picked that up on a sherry. And I've actually had some casks done with this, but never exclusively. And never, this level. I mean, look at the darkness. I mean, that is... I've never had anything finished in this cask.
It's coffee with a red twinge to it.
Yeah, it's nice.
You know what I'm picking up? Okay, so we threw a few dabs of water in here. I'm picking up far more vanilla now than I was initially.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm getting to? I went to Jamaica a couple times.
Okay.
And every time I went there, I did this canopy tour. You do the zip lines because it's just beautiful. It's on the side of a mountain.
Sure, yeah.
And the last one's like 600 feet or yards. 600 yards? 600 feet? I can't remember. But you go over this big gorge. So anyway, after you get down there and you're down, they give you some rum that's like half strength. But then there's all these fruits they have too. Ooh. And they have like a passion fruit.
I could see this passion fruit and rum.
Yes,
Ooh,
yes.
Ooh, very
it reminds me of that.
Yeah.
It reminds me of being in Jamaica, passion fruit and rum, just when I got off that canopy tour on the side of the mountain.
The only thing is this has a lot of that oak and fudge. This is oak and fudge on top of those.
Oh,
it's like rum with oak
absolutely.
and fudge. That's just, oh man.
And when you go through that canopy tour, it's not dangerous, but you feel danger a little bit.
Well,
Like it's not safe, but
you have to really trust the zipline guys.
Right.
So as soon as you're out there and you realize you could die, then you start like thinking in your head, and you're like, oh.
And then you get to the end of the tour, and they give you, here's a bunch of rum, which should have gave me at the beginning.
Yes, that was a mistake.
Yes, they should have inverted that, and they give you the fruits. So again, you take the rum, and you're like, all right, I'll get some fruit. And it's such a sugary fruit, sugary. I would also use that to describe this one. And it's like a sugary Jamaican passion fruit with a little bit of some dark rum that they have.
This could be a dessert, like end of the night. Instead of getting a cognac, you could totally do this.
So dessert.
It's fruit, dessert, but yet I love the fact that it does have that little bit of salt that gives it that next level complexity. If I were going to complain about anything on sherry bombs that I've had,
They're not complex.
It's sherry, it's beautiful.
It's straightforward.
Yeah, but like I struggle giving more like the 90, maybe 91 to a sherry bomb because it is what it is.
It's like a peat monster.
Yeah.
It's like the Freud 10. Like we know what it is, but it's basic.
Yeah.
This isn't basic at all. This is jumping around in the glass.
And that's this gave it so much more complexity, and it just makes me just go back and say, why is it all we ever get are all the Rosso and PX casks?
Right.
There's clearly some phenomenal other options. Guys, distillers, listen. Give us more of this cask.
Look, I understand where they went with it. It was tried and tested.
Yeah.
But now that everyone heard wood and wood casks are becoming more scarce or more expensive, it's forcing people to do different cask maturations.
And I think this is actually the third most common choice they do. This is actually more common, I think, than Fino.
Really? Fino's a little sticky and dry for me.
Fino's very drying. This is not the drying.
It reminds me of my girl loves what is it, Moscato.
Okay.
And Moscato's very sweet, but it's also pretty dry.
Gotcha.
Fino to me is just like that, except for you take out some of the sweetness. It's just very, very dry and sticky.
Yeah. Well, and before I bought this, they have a Fino Solstice, which doesn't have this pretty little King Car thing here, which tells me that it's not. I think the little ribbon here tells you that it's kind of their
next level,
upper level stuff.
Yeah.
Now, the price difference was only about $50-$60, and at that price point, we're not talking a big difference.
Well, for this amount, $50-$60 depending on what bottle of whiskey.
Yeah. But I'm talking about at this price point, the difference is. Let's be honest. I mean, this was on sale for $20-$30, and I've seen new bottles of this going for $100 more than. So the retail's gone up.
Well, it's all about percentages. This is a $400 bottle, $350, $400. You're in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
$50 bottle compared to $100 bottle. That's a completely different
Huge,
ballpark.
yeah, exactly. So they didn't have this to taste, but they had the Fino to taste, and I got to pour the Fino, and it was so drying. I was just
Fino's very dry.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? For that kind of price, it was beautiful. It's a great whiskey, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to gamble on the one I don't know because I'm hoping that, and I know Fino's dry, and I'm hoping this is not going to be that. And this is not. This is great.
This is rich.
No, I mean I've even got I've got their kind of I want to say it's the $100-$150 price range, like bourbon cask. It's good. I mean, it's really good. It's great for the price.
The Taiwanese this distillery is crushing it.
They are
Crushing it.
You know, if it gets to where I can't afford scotch from tariffs and other things,
Kavalan.
Taiwan is doing good stuff.
I'm coming for you, buddy.
Hey,
I'm
guys,
coming for you, Taiwan.
if I got to switch over, this is not a bad choice.
Now, fortunately, I have, as I mentioned earlier, probably 30 to 40 bottles I still have to review, so maybe I can outlast the tariffs. Who knows?
I mean, I've got it.
We're predicting the future, and if I could predict the future, I'd already be a billionaire.
Yeah,
I would have went to the lottery.
we do the lottery, and then we just go bet on sports.
You know, that's what people always kill me about, like with like soothsayers or people who like try to read your palms and stuff like that. I only have one question: what are the lotto numbers this weekend? That's the only question I have. I don't care what my lifeline was. I don't care how long I have to live. I want to know what the lotto numbers are.
I'm 100% with you. Or
if someone told me that, I'd believe in it.
yeah, who's winning the Lakers game? What's the box score?
When are the Bears going to have a good quarterback? These are the things I need to know.
Are the Bengals ever going to put out an NFL team? We don't know.
We don't know. But these are things I want to know.
But yeah, if you can see the future, please let us know.
Let us know those type of things.
In the comments
That's what
down
I need to
below,
know.
let us know these things. We won't share.
I don't need to know that eventually I'm going bald. I know that. I need to know the things that I want to make my life better. That's what it is. All right, so we threw a little bit of water in this. You've essentially tanked yours with water. You thinking of anything different on the palate?
I think the different water honestly brought out more of the fudge for me. Initially, it's a little bit more of a bite. There's a little bit more of that salt note. I like it both ways. I'll be honest. I'll say this way.
Have you not been?
On my no.
I'm kidding. That's what I always say. You go.
I think you're passing on your personal experiences there.
My dad always said that to me. He was like, well, to be honest with you, I'm like, have you not been? Have you been lying to me this whole time? Why the distinction?
Yeah, if you can't tell me why it's wrong, you have to have done it first.
It's a phrase we use here in the States all the time. I mean, the Brits gave us this great language, and we just destroyed it. Anyway.
Whereas we kept it more close to the original, anyway.
Yes. So, with water on the palate, you are getting more fudge. I'm getting a little bit more vanilla.
Yeah. Actually, I don't get vanilla here. I get sweetness. I don't know if I get vanilla at all.
I do. I get vanilla fudge.
White chocolate?
What?
White chocolate.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it is something very similar to a Highland Park 25.
I'm actually getting a little bit of maybe creme brulee, which maybe is vanilla and caramel.
Could be. Yeah, could be.
Because I'm getting that like
custardy.
Yeah, like they've taken the sweet stuff, they've run the flame over it. They didn't burn it at all, but it's got
it crystallized.
Yeah, but it's also added a little bit of it's changed a little chemically.
God, this is incredible 6-year-old whiskey. Incredible. That's why, you know what? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me the age. I don't care. I've had Kilhoman's.
Yeah.
I've had the Kilman Lochgorn is a 5-year-old whiskey. Yep. To me, it tastes older than our Big Ugadale.
Yeah.
Which is a comparable whiskey, I guess is what I'm going with.
Price-wise, Lochgorn's a little pricier. But
a little pricier. But this one here, I mean, 6-year-old whiskey is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the next portion, which is whiskey score. I'm in 91 out of 100. Almost 92. 91.5 out of 100.
So coming in, I've had a few drinks out of this one, as you can tell, and I was actually a little disappointed, and I was right around in 90. It's had about a week and a half, 2 weeks to open up since I last had it, and I've had this maybe 3 weeks open.
Oh, really? Is this all?
Yeah, it hasn't been open very long.
This is a new Calavan? God, you were the Calavan master.
It's fairly recent purchase, yes.
Spring Bacon Calavan, that's you, man. Cheers. Cheers. All right,
so I'm going 92 on this one.
I'm close. I'm right there with you.
I think I like sherry a little more than you do.
I agree.
But I normally would tell you, there's only a few sherry whiskeys I'm willing to go that high with, but the complexity.
Beautiful. It's sherried without dark fruits. It's sherried in tropical fruits, which is just, to me, doesn't even seem... I don't know if really a Scotch whiskey distillery can get this much sherry, a single cask strength sherry cask, making it with all those tropical fruits. I don't know if I've ever picked one up that much tropical fruit in sherry cask whiskey.
I feel like the malts that have tropical fruits get dominated by the sherry.
Sure, yeah.
The Scotch do that.
Yes, and it turns into figs, dates, raisins.
I feel like they've got a hardier, stronger malt that can hold up to this better.
You know what it is? It is a closer to the equator type of sherry. Is the only way I can really.
It's the malt. It's that super aging of the malt. I think makes it hardier and gives it more. The malt holds up, and that way it can pass the malt flavor on with whiskey better. And this, it's beautiful. I love it.
If you guys ever get a chance to try this one, I couldn't recommend it highly enough. Sure, it's pricey, but if you're a fan of sherry, mature cask whiskeys, especially sherry bombs, not that it's a traditional sherry bomb, but something that's cask strength sherry, got a ton of it, sherry cask only, it's worth it to try this one. Yeah. It is a beautiful, well done whiskey. And they didn't pay us to say that.
No.
We had to pay retail for that, or you had to pay retail for that. They haven't given me shit, so yeah. I don't care. But I'm super impressed with this. You guys know I love whiskey. If you're this deep into my whiskey YouTube channel, or maybe it's your first time, I don't know. If it's your first time,
welcome from Taiwan.
Yeah, if it's your first time, I've done 200 of these reviews. So this is a very impressive whiskey. I'm at 91.5. You're at 92, Dustin. What else can we say other than if you have your chance to get your hands on this bottle, or if you have a chance to taste it, go for it. Until next time,
drink more.
Happy drinking. See you next time.